get straight into it. So this is Raising the Bar 3. We did this fucking in June. So that was a while ago. And yeah, this was where you were in the sunglasses, huh?
Yeah, I was looking like Pitbull, bald in the sunglasses.
Yeah.
It was the lighting just blew my, it was too bright and it blew my crisp Puerto Rican lineup out the frame, so I look bald.
All right.
Chase is on the way, by the way. He smelled the Henny and I got a text.
Do you want to put your headphones on? Just
yeah.
Straight the fuck into this. Yeah, Chase is going to be here in half an hour. So,
cool.
Raising the Bar 3, let's get straight into it.
This one, too, is following number 2, which was kind of the more heady, cerebral, but vibey one. It's actually a crowd favorite. So going into Raising the Bar 3, I'll try to switch up the vibe every time. So this one's a little faster, and yeah, let's go.
Produced by Chase Moore.
Yeah, all of them so far produced by Chase.
Illmac.
All right, so what do you mean by that Illmac?
So, really, it's a play on Greek mythology. If you, there it is. There I am.
Is it high enough for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just kind of unplugged.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really a play on Hermes and, dope shit.
Nice. Yeah.
Chase Moore on
Is
the
that
beat.
what we're gonna do?
Shout out on your day.
Is that how
Let's
this
raise
is
the bar.
going?
Look.
Alright, so side note, I just want to get into that really fast.
Shout out on your day.
I promise we're not going to pause
Let's raise
a shit
the
ton
bar,
during this,
look.
but so all the B-roll shots is from St. John's, which is where Illmac's from. So that's St. John's Bridge.
Right.
All this B-roll is from when I went up to Portland the first time to film a music video for Illmac, Lost Our Soul with Nestle.
Yeah, Nestle.
So I just used some leftover B-roll that I had.
Yeah, that's the St. John's Bridge, and right on that same street is actually this clock that's been there for like 100 years or some shit, and that's actually what that came from. It's like right next to the bridge, downtown St. John's.
I live my life between these lines. Seems I'm always redefined, cause they only see what's on the surface layer. Free your mind. All these demons crawling on my ceiling got me feeling like it's feeding time. I open up my wounds and let them drink the wine. The God in me's creating, making time reverse. Can't be penny pinching in a business, you define your worth. At my apex, I be looking back from space, squinting, trying to find the earth like it's my final words. Word, I make a song and treat it like a message in a bottle. I make a song for every dream unfollowed. I make a song for every...
That's something I think we addressed before that I always laugh at, like making fun of myself. Like, I make a song and treat it like a message in a bottle. It's like there's certain lyrics, even when I write them, like I could clown myself on that.
Nice.
On that. It's like borderline corny, but dope as fuck too.
Treat it like a message in a bottle. I make a song for every dream unfollowed. I make a song for every time I said some shit I didn't mean. And every time I meant this shit, just trying to fill the cracks we falling in between. Not religious, but I purge my sins, work a pen and lose my mind, trying to find the meaning in the words of men. Loyalty's currency spent amongst deserving friends from here. Can't tell if I'm digging myself out or further in. I dig myself to the other side of the planet. Cause tsunamis plucking wings off a butterfly when it's flapping, running circles around them all and trust them not even.
Other thing, all right, now I'm remembering we did do this at some point, just hadn't released it.
Yeah.
Because where I made fun of my, like, it's funny.
A couple butterfly.
Yeah, because Butterfly was in, there's a butterfly reference in number 2.
Yeah.
The whole, like, in the butterfly in its cocoon the minute it flew. And I think number 4 might have a butterfly reference.
Really?
Either 4 or 5, I think, also. So
Butterflies are tight,
butterfly
man.
effect, yo. Growth.
Can't tell if I'm digging myself out or further in. I dig myself to the other side of the planet. Cause tsunamis plucking wings off a butterfly when it's flapping, running circles around them all and trust them not even rapping. It's like talking in circles while justifying my actions. Got me crack whipping, trying to kill it like my last victim, glass tipping in the background like I'm ad-libbing. Transition, not a change, I got my fan.
That's like one of my favorite parts from this is that little scheme where you're kind of like pausing your cadence.
Oh, the
Love that part.
dipping.
Yeah.
In circles while justifying my actions. Got me crack whipping, trying to kill it like my last victim, glass tipping. In the background like I'm ad-libbing, transition. Now to change, I got my fans tripping. I tell them when you been through some shit, you act different. So, I give a fuck about your top 5. If I ain't on the list, then it's nothing, cause I'm top 5. You get it if we swap lives. Ain't playing devil's advocate. I've been on God's side since the day that Pac died. Now loved ones try to...
R.I.P. Pac, you know what I mean? I think I reference him a lot in the series, too.
Because you're a huge fan, right?
Yeah, nah.
Is that all you listened to when you were growing up?
Yeah, it's like my shit. Like, my uncle put me on him when I was too young to even know what was up. And then, ultimately, like, Pac was the reason I started rapping. The Strictly For My album.
Which album?
Strictly For My
Strictly
album.
For your album?
No, it's Strictly For My...
Okay, word.
You know,
Yeah,
blank.
Yeah,
You know
word,
what I mean?
word.
Yeah, nah, it's the Strictly For My...
Playing devil's advocate. I've been on God's side since the day that Pac died. Now loved ones try to question me like, who is he? Ask what changed, I say everything including me. Murder, comfort, contentment, then caught death sleeping. Like I murdered love when I was caught by my ex cheating. Murdered doubt and routine that I was neck deep in. Murder everything, now work's the only one left breathing.
Some real shit right there. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Shepherds lose
real
the
shit.
way and let the sheep explore. Feeling guilty, what's the verdict? This the people's court. I'm like a bad idea when it's reinforced. I'm like a bright idea when it seems ignored. I've won a couple things, but my ego's bored. I've lost everything, but who's keeping score? We endure being poor. I'm on another plane, it's the baggage that I bring aboard. Shit you seen before. Drugs, money, music, that's me and more. That shit you fiending for. Rinse, repeat, re-record. Easy for a preacher, hardly practicing what he endured. Screaming toward deaf ears, assuming meaning will be absorbed. My brain's a haunted house with a squeaky door. Raising dead like Ouija.
Yeah. My brain's a haunted house with a squeaky door. Like, it's another one of those, like, I wrote it, I'm like, I could laugh at that, but it's dope. So I'm gonna, but that whole scheme, the build-up is hella tight. Some of my favorite shit, too. Like, the rinse, repeat, re-record. Easy for a preacher, hardly practicing what he endorsed. Screaming toward deaf ears, assuming meaning will be absorbed. It's like on some hypocritical shit. Like it's easy to preach when you're not living it, and it's, of course, what you're preaching is falling on deaf ears. Like, who's the real problem here? You know, it's kind of what that whole little chunk's about, and it's coming off of talking about murdering love, caught by my ex cheating, being guilty. Like, what's the verdict? This the people's court. It's all like mental, you know, struggle shit, but kind of put through this filter of like rap where it doesn't come off as some emotional shit.
Yeah.
But it's kind of in that lane, you know?
That's dope.
We endure being poor. I'm on another plane, it's the baggage that I bring aboard. Shit you seen before. Drugs, money, music, that's me and more. That shit you fiending for. Rinse, repeat, re-record. Easy for a preacher, hardly practicing what he endured. Screaming toward deaf ears, assuming meaning will be absorbed. My brain's a haunted house with a squeaky door. Raising dead like Ouija boards and raise the bar even more. Ill. Subscribe below.
Yeah. I think are the lyrics on here too? I'm trying to make sure to put the
Yeah, they are.
So like that's the other thing with this series is I'm trying to put the lyrics in every single. I think they're all up to date at this point, and the lyrics are included in all of them, so you can go peep before you quote me on Twitter and shit.
And
I hate being misquoted. Then roast me.
Yeah, roast him back.
Nah, it was just misspelled. I'll be like, trying to. Like, that's what I say. I'm not like trying to. But yeah, so I was Raising the Bar 3. Had to go between the bars, make fun of myself, and maybe, you know, clarify a couple lines you might have missed or whatever, give some of the motivation behind it.
I like that one.